Okay, let's discuss this Oscar Grant case or verdict. First off, what I want to do is explain. I don't want to explain. I want to differentiate involuntary manslaughter from murder, from second degree murder. The reason why they came to the the decision of involuntary manslaughter, but how I think that is still a difference, and how I think it's something else other than involuntary manslaughter. Firstly, um, as you've seen his video, you've seen Oscar Grant was he couldn't even defend himself. He was in handcuffs, right? He was trying to be handcuffed by the officer, law enforcement. The law officer or the law enforcement officer, he said that he was defending. I mean, in his defense, he says that he thought that he was pulling his taser. Now, anyone trained in law enforcement or any legal spectrum knows that your gun, your weapon, your gun is usually it's on your right side. It's always supposed to be on your right side. Your taser is to be on your left side. Okay. With that said, though murder, you must have willful, deliberate, or premeditation. No, he did not have a specific intent. It wasn't premeditated. It wasn't. I mean, it could have been deliberate, but it has to be all three. If you break murder down, um, many would say it was a malignant heart, but in actuality, it wasn't a malignant heart because there still wasn't specific intent. There wasn't. He wasn't trying to beat him or something like in Rodney King case where he was trying to beat him, and where it would be a murder. Instead, they look at involuntary manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter, you kill a person. Yes, you do it. You do the whatever you did, you killed the person. But what you killed the person, but there's criminal negligence in the crime that was committed. In this situation, they're taking in consideration his defense story. His story that was stated that he didn't know he couldn't differentiate. But anyone knows that legal or law enforcement officers always know because of their training with the academy. Unless you were intoxicated, and no one took any drug tests to see exactly what was going on with his body or his situation at that time. I doubt if he even went in custody at the same night. I'm sure he went home that night. Okay, they handle way different than a regular person. But as I said before, involuntary manslaughter, you kill the person, but because of the high degree risk of harm, that was something that was lawful but was dangerous and seriously injured a person. That's when they can say it's involuntary manslaughter. In this situation, Oscar Grant was he he was trying to be cooperative. He was cooperating with the police officers. Yes, of course, there was surrounding noises, there were surrounding people, there were surrounding negativity and etc. that could have threw him off and etc. But at the same time, you're trained for that. Depending on your experience, you're trained for those situations. The problem here is that we do not know why. What would give him the reason to kill him? It was not shown or stated what was said. What was said in that confrontation? What did the guy say? Could he have said something that was so negative to him that he decided to kill him? We never know. But in that situation, I believe that it was second degree murder. Because second degree murder is, though an intent wasn't stated, there was an intent that was made. Because a police officer is trained to know the difference and to be able to differentiate at a time of a situation of that sort, a spur of the moment. You're supposed to know exactly how to handle the situation. And if we're allowing these people, if we let this guy get off, and that's basically considered winning to an attorney when you reduce your crime to an involuntary manslaughter. So in a defense eyes, he won. But literally, like we as people, we need to step up. We need to start realizing and see what's really going on. Because what's going on, the reason why they came up with those two, I don't agree also with the fact of having the jury be races that are not even usually in a situation. As we know, Oakland is composed of a lot of minorities. The jury was composed of a lot of majority, which is a problem. Okay? I mean, it's a lot that goes on with the situation, and it's even more, and I really don't have time to finish it because I have to go to school right now. But the beginning of the situation is that basically involuntary manslaughter was not, it definitely was not what should have been the inferred from or concluded from this criminal offense, because it was far more than that. It wasn't a vehicular manslaughter. It wasn't something that a regular person could have just been drunk or out of their mind for a second, went temporarily insane and accidentally killed someone. This is an officer who is trained for situations of this sort, who should know what's going on. So involuntary manslaughter was definitely the wrong choice in the courtrooms. And I'm not trying to make an uprise or anything of that sort, but I'm just saying, if we allow this to occur, only thing we can do is allow it to occur, but we can brighten our minds, brighten our thoughts, brighten exactly what's going on in this world to make it better. Instead of uprising against each other, we need to come together and make a change. Because, we need more minorities in the law enforcement. Yes, I know this guy was probably, I don't know what his race was. I don't know too much about the police officer. It doesn't matter about the race. What matters is the fact that he knew, as a professional police officer or legal or law enforcement officer, he knew what he was doing. And his defense should have been ruled out. That's my point. He did not commit an involuntary manslaughter. He committed a second-degree murder. And it's sad that they really didn't see that. For real.